On the workbench today, I got the Diamond Reo. I've kind of changed my plans as far as what the truck's going to be. It's still going to be the four-wheel drive, you know, with the big tires and everything. I got those right here. Started weathering one of them up. Probably just going to dull coat them after that. Be good to go. And I did get the frame assembled. Well, not that part. The cab mount still I haven't mounted because I want to get everything else in there before I get the final, you know, attachment points for those. But the frame is together. It's not 100% true. It does bow out a little bit in the back. So I think when these frame rails are laid down, they were, you know, both sitting like this, so they both warped like that. And I didn't notice that at first, but I think once I get everything glued on there, as long as everything else is straight and true, that should straighten that out. I did some work on the leaf springs. Not sure if you can see, but there's a lot of sink marks and seams. Same with, and these are actually out of a different kit. I don't know if I stated that in the previous video. It's been a while, but these are actually out of the USA 1 monster truck, the 1/25th scale. All the suspension's going to be out of that. Here's the axles, as well as your drive units for those. So that still needs a lot of work. The transmission here on this Diamond Reo kit, there's a pretty big misalignment here on the transmission. So that's definitely going to need some work. And probably what I'm just going to do is just cut off the little mounting tabs there and just line it up the best I can. And then, you know, sand it down and everything. So that's that. These tires actually are off the USA 1 monster truck, but they're off the 1/32nd scale. Because the 1/25th scale units were just way too large for what I was wanting to do. And I can show you, been doing a little work on the cab here, trying to get everything straightened out. It doesn't really line up perfectly, but it's as good as it's going to be. And I think once the framework and everything else is in there, it should straighten out. But you can see here, this is the way the tires are going to be. And there's some other trim parts and such that go here, but I might end up trimming some of this back here for clearance. That's about what we're going to look like. So that's that. Also, I'm going to have to fabricate up some drive shafts. I'll probably use the U-joints out of the kits, or out of the AMT Diamond Reo kit, because the drive shafts from the monster truck, I don't know if you can see them here in the bag, but they're tiny. And the ones in the Diamond Reo kit are about twice that size, but obviously they're not the length that I need them, so I'm going to have to modify those, as well as modify the opening for this, because this is going to be far too small for those huge U-joints. But other than that, that's about what we're doing here. There's still all kinds of stuff I need to do, but this is just the first project I'm working on for 2014. I was just going through some of my stuff and I saw this and I had it all laying out on one of my shelves. I showed that in the previous video, and I was cleaning it up and I figured, you know what, I was in the mood to work on a truck, so I started working on this one. This is the bed off the C600. Before I end this video, I decided I'd just bring this in too. I'm thinking about using this as the bed. Like I said, I'm kind of going away from the whole oil and gas field truck. It's just going to be basically a off-road exploration type of truck. It could be used for that, or even like a lumberyard type of situation where you got to go out somewhere, you know, off-road. But the truck's going to be built, you know, to handle pretty much anything that a truck in this type of, you know, work would do. But let me get this back cab mount here. So this is supposed to be the rear cab mount, where the rear of the cab will sit. So you're going to sit right about like that. So I figure the length of this bed hangs over a little bit, but I figure it'll have this, the leaf springs sitting as far back as I can get them. I'm going to have to chop off the end here where it angles out. I'll just straighten that out, and then we'll set these as back as far as I can. So I think it'll work out. It'll have a little bit of an overhang on the back, but the truck's going to be, you know, built to look large enough that it shouldn't be a big deal. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make, you know, my own bed for it or something, or I could even, once I get everything bolted on here, just cut this and stretch the frame a little bit. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. So that is where we're at with the Diamond Reo project. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get back to work on this. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time. Most of the time has been going into trying to get all the seams and the sink marks and everything, because I really don't want to use a lot of filler and everything. It's just something I don't want to deal with. So if there's a part that I can't get, I'm just going to leave it. But as far as the seam lines and everything like on these leaf springs especially, because these are going to be pretty visible. I mean, every single one has a sink mark there, but the good thing is all of them seem to be out, you know, instead of inward. They're built up, so I can just sand down those. And even if there is a little bit inward, I'll just sand it out to make it flush, and we'll call it good to go. So that is where I'm at, guys. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon.